On behalf of the Department of Tourism, Innovation and Sport, and also Rowland Sport, I'd like to welcome you all here today. I know it's a busy time of the year. Everyone I speak to has got a lot on their plate, and I thank you all for your time and effort to be here today. We've got over 150 registrations, which is the biggest we've had, and that's just an indication, I guess, of the interest in this topic and what the future holds. So before we start, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners and their custodianship of the lands on which we meet here today and pay my respects to their ancestors and their descendants. For those of you that I haven't met, my name's Jason Greenhalgh. I'm the head of sport at Rowland. Rowland are a strategic communications, digital and creative agency based right here in Brisbane. Where else would you want to be? In Queensland. So we've been here for about 30 years, and last year introduced a sport division here in Brisbane, and we're basically about developing and assisting brands and organisations to put a sporting lens on what they're doing. So yeah, we're here to facilitate today. You'll hear from a couple of our staff throughout the day. We've been working closely with the department in basically developing a strategic framework, if you like, for the industry over the past few months, and this program is part of that project. But to officially welcome you and to say a few words today, I'd like to introduce the Executive Director of the department, Nicole Kelly, to say a few words. Thanks, Nicole.
The SportX Connect series, this is the second one that we've run, and I'd really like to thank Rowland for their partnership in delivering this and the hard work that they've done to prepare for today. This session is a really important one in that I think in Queensland we celebrate our sports stars and our athletes quite well. We recognise them, we celebrate them, we love our sport. Of course, arguably, whether we pay them well, all of them is another question for another time. But I think that we do recognise the contribution that they make to the sporting success for this state. And I don't think we celebrate and recognise as well the work that's done by all the people in this room and beyond this room to actually get them performing, to have the events run as they're run, to have the fans having the engaging experiences that they have. And so SportsTech's a really important industry for Australia and for Queensland. And I think that we can tell that story a lot better, that it's recognised not only within the industry, globally and nationally and within the state, but also within the broader population, the economic, the social, the environmental benefits that SportsTech is making and will continue to make as we go up to 2032 and beyond. So the reason we wanted to run this session is to, SportsTech isn't Queensland government's or any government's story to tell. It's not a particular segment of the industry. It's all of our story to collectively write together and to be comfortable with how we can all tell it in a way that's authentic and showcases what we're doing and the impact that it's making. So we really wanted to run a session where you guys basically are going to be bringing your insights and your thoughts, and I know that some people have put some thought into it already. I know that someone's got some post-it notes in their pocket that they've already prepared to sort of bust out with some key messages, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out of today. This is also meant to be me giving a little update on what's happening in the SportX area, so there's a lot of things, so I just thought I would flag a couple. I think last month when we were here, I talked about we were piloting a program around accelerating growth for a small number of Queensland companies, being a pilot, to look at how we help them also with an export market component, and we are supported by our colleagues in government with Trade and Investment Queensland, Nikki and Sean, who are here today in delivering that pilot program. So I think when I spoke to you last time, the EOI process had just closed, but it was being assessed. So I'm very happy to announce that we have the 5 participating companies in that program, some of whom are here today, and they are TeamPay, Chicks Who Ride Bikes, Frequency Tech, Valor Esports and Inspire Tech. So really looking forward. That boot camp kicks off in early May. I think it's the 9th and 10th, but don't hold me to that. But when we meet next time, I'm looking forward to telling you how that program is progressing and the learnings that we have from it. Also something I wanted to flag, which isn't a SportX thing necessarily, but I think what we can do for this community is start to bring together some of the messages and make you aware of things you may not be aware of. So the Australian Sports Technology Network, some of whom you will be connected with, but they are running a business matching trade mission to Europe, which is in June this year, mid-June. So they've put out some information around that. They have been talking to Queensland Government because they're keen to make sure that Queensland companies are highlighted on the global stage. And so Trade and Investment Queensland and ourselves are considering, so we can't confirm yet, but we're considering participating in supporting Queensland companies to, there's an ASTN fee to participate because they arrange a whole range of meetings and showcase events. And so we are considering paying that fee basically for a number of Queensland companies who may wish to go over, but you know, travel costs and accommodation, etc., would have to be covered by the company. So I just wanted to give a heads up that that's on the cards, because if it is confirmed, which we will do that within government in the next week or so, then it might be a pretty quick EOI process. So that's just a heads up on that. If you know about it, great. If you don't know about it and want more information, then reach out to us and we can connect you with ASTN. And I also just wanted to recognise the people who have travelled. So we've got some people in the room who are from Brisbane, and that's amazing, but I also know that we have people who have come from further afield. And so I certainly know that there are people from the Sunshine Coast here. We've got people from Noosa Council. Put your hands up. Very good. Welcome. And thanks for coming. You came to last month's event as well. Do we have anyone from the Sunshine Coast Council here? Wendy? Okay, so I just wanted to flag there's a couple of things that are happening on the Sunshine Coast. There is a festival around, it's a general innovation festival called Forward Fest, which is happening. So feel free to talk to people about that if you're interested in more information. And also, Wendy, put your hand up again. Okay, maybe stand up, turn around. Just because I don't want to be the only focal point. So, Sunshine Coast have a submarine cable, which many of you may be aware of, but what that gives the Sunshine Coast is great digital infrastructure that allows fast speed. I'm not going to go into all the detail, but what the Sunshine Coast Council is running is an ideation session around 2032. They've got some great stuff where you can trial things like, you know, connectivity and 6G and all that type of stuff. So they are keen to talk to people who want to come to this ideation session, sports tech providers, researchers, a whole range of people. So if that sounds like it's something you're interested in, it is in early-ish May, so go and have a chat to Wendy after the session. So that's probably all I needed to cover so we can get into the actual fun stuff.